Alright. Welcome back. Alright. So today's objective is to add our turret here. I think I'll do it first dropping this in here, and then adding these white pieces all the way around so we get a nice snug fit. And then after that, I'll probably try to secure it from the bottom somehow. So let's get going on that. Take my first bundle down. Here's a little bit of my reasoning. I could swap out the short piece for a long piece, and then I could just bend this over. And we get to borrow the strength of the rod to help hold the turret in place. Not just one, but we'll probably do several. Alright, so this thing won't be able to hold it perfectly upright. So we need to add ourselves a little support here that could be moved with the turret. Alright, it looks like this joint is the closest we got. I don't want it pushing on this one, even though that's better, because it'll just bend this piece out and eventually tear it away. Alright, if I just take it and make it a 3-strip, it'll bend a lot easier. And I'm just going to cut across support and stabilize that. I'm going to do the sticky rods around the bottom, probably only 2 layers thick, just like we did up here. Then we'll slide the turret up under there. Alright, let's try that out. I think that'll do. It can technically pivot. That is one snug fit. Alright, so I need to make a 23-inch 5-strip rod. I need to make 3 of them at least. Well, I felt like this rod might actually be a little short because I still need to bend the ends so I could wedge them in there. I don't know, it doesn't take much effort to make it much longer, so I shall do that. But now, let it sit overnight. And we can see here that this point is digging in quite a bit. So I'll try to troubleshoot that. Alright. Okay, so here's my idea. I've got my trail marked out here, so I'm just going to put a rod right where that trail is. Then I'll put a second one lining the inside of that. So I'm just bending it along the crease here. The whole purpose of this is to help spread out the weight more evenly across the build here. Alright, now let's test our fit once more. Alright, well that'll do. I think before I attach the turret, I need to finish the details on the front. So I shall make a sheet to cover the front here. Maybe add some details around here if I can find any good ones. Got that done. 4 strips, and then the final 5th strip is black. Got a whole bunch of 1-inch black strips to tape it all down. Alright, I'm choosing silver because silver looks a lot like nuts and bolts when you get up. You make it nice and small. Alright, so I've just made myself 10 sticky rods. I'm going to layer them around here. 4 on the bottom, then 3, 2, and then 1 to kind of get a stacked effect. Because from what I could tell on these, they are kind of gradient like that. instead of doing a complete pyramid, I think I'm going to have to do 2 at 4 layers, then another 2 at 2 layers. Just to keep it proportioned the correct way, I think. Alright, that took a little longer than expected. I've cut a whole bunch of strips that are only 1 millimeter or 2 wide. And now I'm just going to cut them down further. Alright, now that I've finished the details, I think I kind of want to make this a tad bit looser. This thing's getting Frankensteined a bit. But I really want this turret to be able to turn, so I gotta do what I gotta do. Alright, now that I've thinned out this piece a bit, I'm going to come back and add a few more uprights, super long ones, to help attach to the turret. And that'll help keep everything in place. Alright, now just to wrap it again. Alright, that'll turn. And we got ourselves 3 extra pieces to attach to the turret, so that'll be good. And while I was doing all that, I did smear off some of my details here on accident. I still think I might have to do my arm first, so I can get proper fit. I just noticed this corner sagging a bit, because I never did get my cross supports in there. So I'll do that right now. Alright, it looks like the thickest point of the arm is nearly twice as thick as the 2 ends. So we'll have to taper that. Almost looks like a boomerang with the shape right here. I've gotten my 3 extra long rods that we made earlier. So one of them is a slight bit thicker because I lost count. So I'm going to make that my bottom piece. And then my 2 top pieces. So I need to have 24 inches, folding it over just like this. Then I'm going to tape it down like crazy here. And these tiny pieces are only enough to buy me enough time. Give it a nice pinch. Just a nice little loop like that. As we saw earlier with my test piece, just doing the small strips, they will eventually stretch out, so that's what I'm doing. That's a big strip there. Alright, so now I got my 3 pieces. The 2 top pieces will go on the outside, and the bottom piece is going to go in the middle. Just going to wedge these 3 together with a rod. Oh, I might have made that too tight. Alright, so I've alternated the ends. My logic being that this piece of stub will be going to the inside of the beam as these 2 will. And then, yeah, we just now have to get our right curve. And I'm thinking about an inch gap between these will be plenty. Alright, I think I'm going to make my 1 inch rods out of a 3 strip rod. Alright, so this thing needs to be 24 inches long. So just measure that before I start adding too many things. Alright, there's one thing I wasn't careful of. This side's sitting flat, but this side's sitting curved. So I need to take that out of this. Can I even take it out? I can't think of a good way to get the curve out right now. So I'm just going to leave it as is and let the rest of the structure pull it out. Lay these flat on the table, the other end dangling down. Taping my 1 inch pieces in between, roughly 2 inches apart or so. I'm only doing one side to start so I can kind of get it all laid out. Alright, now I shall flip it all together. Each joint here is getting 3 strips, 2 overlap ones and 1 securing wrap. All right, well, I think I'm going to call it here. But I think today I'm going to call it quits. I've been at it for a few hours and starting to get hungry. So if you like what I'm doing, just shoot me a like.